Things in Florida. Number 15. The Coral Castle Museum. This museum contains a bunch of statues that were created by one man from 1923 to 1951. Located in Miami, these statues are actually very impressive, but the most notable feature is a carved gate weighing 9 tons that can open with the push of a button. Number 14. Swampy the Christmas Gator. Measuring in at more than 200 feet from one end to the other, this giant alligator-shaped building is nestled into the small town of Christmas. Yes, there's a town named Christmas. Not just for show, but rather to entice. Once inside Swampy, you'll find that there's actually a gift shop and a bunch of other offices, and even a ticket booth for the Jungle Adventure Floridian Animal Park. Number 13. The UF Bat Houses. Solely run by the University of Florida, there are 2 massive bat barns here that just so happen to be the largest man-made bat houses in the whole wide world. If you want to see these creepy creatures take off around dusk for their nightly meal of insects, then you'll have to travel to Gainesville, Florida. Number 12. Wolf's Museum of Mystery. Considered to be more for the morbid person at heart, the Wolf's Museum of Mystery is described as being slightly disturbing and extremely interesting. The museum can be found in St. Augustine, with a gallery that's sure to make the hairs on the back of your neck stand straight up. It's here that you'll find the exact Lizzie Borden boudoir, a slaughterhouse kitchen, and an amalgam of terrifying trinkets. Enter if you dare. Number 11. Showcase of Citrus. If you've ever wanted to tour the swamplands of Florida in a giant monster truck, then this place is your best bet. At the Showcase of Citrus in Claremont, the guys here will get you great looks at the gators and other wildlife roaming the local area. You're guaranteed to get up close and personal with them while still being out of harm's way. Number 10. The Big Bend Power Station. It's here in the Apollo Beach region that a cluster of manatees come each year to make their temporary homes in warmer waters. This is because warm air gets shot out of the power station. Here, you'll be able to get a great look at how these creatures live. Number 9. Dinosaur World. Not as exciting as a real-life Jurassic Park would be, but close enough. The Dinosaur World theme park is located in 3 different locations throughout the US, but this one is in Plant City, Florida. Covering more than 20 acres of land, visitors can explore the park and walk around while being surrounded by 200 giant life-size dinosaur statues. This location was opened up back in November of 1998. Number 8. The world's smallest police station. Yes, this was once the world's smallest police station that was operational, and it can be found in the town of Carabel, Florida. It's only the size of an old phone booth, which is exactly what it is, but it was once equipped with a dial to make phone calls. It was eventually taken out because too many people would make free long-distance phone calls. Number 7. Solomon's Castle. Situated in the Florida town of Ona is the home of one local artist named Howard Solomon, who managed to build a home for him and his family. Not just any home though. No, this is an actual castle that is completely covered with aluminum that took him several years to finish. He built it as a place where his family could live and where he could create his art. Ironically, this castle has become his most well-known work of art and a famous Florida stopping point for tourists. The whole thing is spread out over 12,000 square feet, and they just added a lighthouse by the moat. Number 6. The Christ of the Abyss. This statue happens to be the third in a set of statues that are all cast from the mold of the original Christ of the Abyss and placed underwater all around the world. This one happens to be situated on the ocean floor that's only 25 feet from the coast of Key Largo. Entirely comprised of bronze, this statue stands at 9 feet tall and it weighs 573 pounds, with an additional 9 tons from the base of which the statue is attached to. This one was presented as a gift to the Underwater Society of America back in 1962 in New York. Number 5. Butterfly World. Known as the largest butterfly park in the world, this one can be found in Tradewinds Park, Coconut Creek. The park was first opened back in 1988 and is the home to approximately 5,000 live butterflies. Covering a massive area of 10 acres, Butterfly World needs all that space because it houses up to 80 different species of butterfly. It's here that visiting tourists can view the different evolutionary stages that these creatures go through. Number 4. The Devil's Millhopper. This enormous-sized sinkhole is measured at being 120 feet deep by 500 feet wide and is located in the Devil's Millhopper Geological State Park in Alachua County, Florida. It got its name because of how it looked similar to the hopper of a mill and was designated a U.S. Natural Landmark back in December of 1974 after it was purchased by the state. The previous owner was the University of Florida, as it was used to study the special ecosystems of the surrounding area. Number 3. Spook Hill. The legend of Spook Hill in Lake Wales has become quite the popular attraction for anyone who's drawn to the supernatural and unexplained. The local folklore says that the Native Americans who once lived on the land were terrorized by a monstrous alligator. After a great battle with the beast, peculiar things began to occur in the area that is Spook Hill. It's said that if you put your car in park at the bottom of the hill, that it will somehow roll up the hill on its own. Participating in this is so popular, especially for the visiting tourists, that there's even a white line that tells you where to park and wait for your car to move up. Number 2. Hurricane Matthew. It was back on October 4th that this satellite image of Hurricane Matthew was captured and broadcasted to the world. The weatherman Matt Devitt confirmed on Twitter that the image is completely authentic and is not the product of Photoshop. Thankfully, Hurricane Matthew did not touch down on Florida, but it did batter up the state's coastline, along with other parts of the East Coast. It ended up leaving around 1 million people without electricity, and even so, there's still an outage of power to around 65,000 people. Thousands were forced to evacuate their homes to seek shelter, and the amount of damage caused is quite significant.
And now for number 1. But first, be sure to subscribe for new videos every day.
Robert the Doll. Meet Robert, the famous haunted doll of Key West, Florida. The legend of Robert goes as such. When Robert Eugene Otto was a young boy in the early 1900s, he was given a doll by one of his servants, who was said to have cursed the doll with voodoo, as she was often abused by the family, and he named it after himself. They did everything together. All that fun then turned into fright. Robert began to terrorize Eugene in the middle of the night and was eventually thrown in the attic. These days, Robert lives at the East Martello Museum, where he's heavily guarded. The letters behind him, those are from people who visited Robert and asked that they take back whatever curse he put on them. Make sure always to ask Robert if you can take his picture before snapping one.